Sheer force of will.
Sheer force of will. We are live. Damn it! I missed that last little bit right before that, but we are going live right now with Drew. He's so tired tonight. He's not going to be doing certain things.
Oh man, it's been a long week.
But he is going to be tonight reviewing comic books with us. So, Drew, you're up with your quote, not our quote, your quote.
Oh, it's for everyone, so it is our quote. This is it is from a comic book movie from 2010. It's a dog in Mike's face. Hey, Jimmy, do they rock or do they suck? They haven't started playing yet. That was a test, Jimmy. You passed.
That has to be. Oh my goodness. Gah. What's the name of that movie? Anybody else know it?
What year was it?
2010.
Oh. I don't know.
Give me a second. Oh, it's not him. It is
Come on. Google it. Google
I'm
it.
trying. I couldn't remember the main actor's name.
Can we move on?
Move on. Paul.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's what Michael Cera, is that his name? Lead actor's name?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I was trying to look at him. I wasn't sure if that was his name. Paul, give us one we can actually get, maybe.
Mine's from 1997. It's a great movie. Character goes, someone asked me once if I knew the difference between a civilian and a citizen. I know now. A citizen has the courage to make the safety of the human race their personal responsibility. Dizzy was my friend. She was a soldier, but most important, she was a citizen of the Federation.
I know.
I bet you do.
Okay, and Joe's waving his hand. He's being polite.
Well, they already told us where their quotes came from in the off chat.
Yeah, they did. Well, why don't we go to jump on to let's go to Mike.
Anybody in the chat there get that?
Oh.
Maybe they'll get it in a moment.
They might get it in a moment.
I'm not even in the chat. I should probably pull it up.
Because Mike and Paul have the same kind of movie, don't you? Go ahead, Mike. Give us your quote.
Yeah, I don't have the chat open again, so my quote is also from 1997, and it is
weird.
I need a corporal. You're in until you're dead, or I find someone better.
That sounds like the same movie as Paul's. Interesting.
This was not planned.
Nope, not at all.
I think this is the first time this ever happened.
It's not Never-Ending Story.
Is it Back to the Future?
Oh, there we go.
Carson got it. Starship Troopers.
Yeah, Seawood.
We got Bueller in the chat as well. I'm not sure if he still knows if I'm part of Blasted or Stash It here even though I'm in here. We'll find out. Go ahead,
this is Blasted or Stash It?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, how did I end up here?
I don't know.
Okay, my movie is from 1994. It's a comedy. It is not a superhero movie. Actually, I wish you were my first sergeant, but I really had a couple before you.
You were my first sergeant. Oh, is it in the Army now?
Yes.
Is it really? Oh, that was such a guess. It's like a crappy Pauly Shore movie. Okay, in the Army now.
That's a good Pauly Shore movie.
I think all you need to say is Pauly Shore movie. Just the crappy is implied.
Hey man, Biodome is a classic.
Well, what about the one where he served as on the jury duty?
The one where he had jury duty, called jury duty.
Yeah, that's what jury duty.
Glad you're having trouble with that.
I haven't
Remember-
nothing. Mine is
Remember-
from, what?
Remember the Titans.
So remember when he was on Married with Children?
No, you've been
Yes.
binge watching that, haven't you?
I have.
Okay, mine
It
is.
was go ahead.
Are you sure? I don't want
No.
to make sure. Okay, mine from 2000. It's not a comic book movie, but it is a Christmas movie. Nick doesn't do anything until Nick gets something for Nick. I want some hot chocolate. You want to hear about some Indian casino? I want to see some goddamn hot chocolate. A piece of pecan fucking pie. I said it better.
Whoa, you were going in and out on me like crazy there.
Was I? Did everybody else too? In
What
and out?
year was it?
Just
2000.
Is it a pseudo mobster movie?
No.
I'm gonna guess Bad Santa.
No.
I thought it
Bad
was too
Santa
early for that.
too. Electric
Affleck
Santa
Is
Boogaloo.
the main character in that movie.
Reindeer Games.
It is Reindeer Games, which I got to watch every single year. It's like one of my favorite Christmas movies. That must be Mike still popping lopping. Put your mic on mute real quick, Mike. It is Mike. Okay, go ahead. You're
Yeah,
good.
it's Mike. Yeah, it's Mikey.
Go ahead, Drew. You're up with your first book for the week.
All righty. Let's go ahead and talk about some comic books.
Maybe it's
Go
not.
ahead and talk about Shazam.
Oh my god. Go ahead.
What? Oh, you don't want to talk about Shazam?
No, it's your book, man. You go for it.
We can talk about Shazam if you want.
Okay, how about Shazam? Go ahead.
All right, I liked it. It's pretty good. This is the stash. The art is a little inconsistent throughout. Sometimes the kids look like old ladies. I think they'll probably fix that. I think the action scenes were all right, even though all the characters are kind of generic looking. They haven't really souped up the designs a lot, but I did like the backup story. I thought that the art, the manga style, chibi style art, was on point for the story. I wish they would have gotten more character stuff like the backup in the main story, but hopefully those backups will continue throughout and flesh out these characters a little bit more. I dig it, man. I don't really care about Shazam, and this was a fun read.
Paul, you read Shazam?
I sure did, and I loved it. I thought it really captured the feel of the old Captain Marvel, but updated it for a modern crowd. I thought both stories were great. I liked the art in both of them. And like Drew said, I liked the manga style for the second one. I thought that was really good. It just all around, everything about the issue was good. So definite stash for me.
Joe?
I did read it. I don't have my copy with me because I got the variant and I sent it out for CGCing. But I will say this, not a huge fan of that particular type of art styling, but oh my God, what a great story. Like, I mean, I really like it. You know that it's a kid trapped in a man's body. How awesome is that? And that's the point of the character. So yeah, enjoyed the book. Both of the stories I thought were really great. Again, I can look past this kind of art for right now because I know it's becoming very popular. It seemed very hardline to me. But, you know, yeah, I got to agree with Drew. When it came to the kids, I was like, when do these old midgets come into play? You know, I realized it was like his buddies and stuff. So, okay, I got past that, but great story. I look forward to reading more of this. I think they're going to pan out that art a little bit more. So, yeah, great stuff.
Mike, you read Shazam this week?
Unfortunately.
Okay. What'd you think of it?
Never the biggest Captain Marvel fan. I think the movie looks fucking stupid. I'm just not a fan of this book, so I'm blasting this motherfucker.
Oh my!
Well, I'm actually there with Mike. I was really, really looking forward to this book. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait for it to come out. Shazam's out this week. Sweet, I can't wait to read it. And I did not like it. I think I wanted more of a solo story with just Shazam, you know, Billy Batson, not the whole Shazam family. You know, I think that's what kind of threw everything off for me. There were too many characters in there for me. It's a blast. for me too. So, bum, 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 bum. Womp, womp. Going on to Paul, and I don't know if you want to. So you read 5 books this week?
I sure did.
Do you want to we'll jump onto somebody else, and then we'll come back to you? That way you're not out so early? Or do you want to go through your books?
Let's do one of them first.
Okay. Go ahead.
Let's do Die number 1. This is co-pick of the week. This was fucking incredible. I was a D&D geek growing up, and this book just speaks to me. It's going to be dark. It's going to be twisted. It's mysterious. I'm going to love every second of it. Go buy this book now.
Joe, you're shaking your head yes. Did you read Die this week as well?
Yes, I did. Oh my God. And I got some great variants to go along with it. I'll be showing those on my show. Unfortunately, I don't have them with me. But oh my God. Jumanji for adults is the best way to describe it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's dark. It's twisted. The art in it's very nice. Yeah, I like that. Being taken away as a child and not understanding everything in your environment now and still being somewhat childish, but in a much darker way, where you actually know more than most of the people that stayed in this universe. It was really intriguing, very good read. Definitely hooks you in. I enjoyed it.
Mike, did you read Die?
No, I really wanted to though, but I either forgot about it, didn't pick it up, whatever. But so no, I did not.
Oh, shame. Yeah, I read Die. You kind of took the words out of my mouth there, Joe. I was thinking Jumanji. If you like Jumanji, if you liked D&D, this is the book for you. I played very little D&D as a kid, a little bit in middle school, not a whole lot. It didn't really speak to me that much. It was an okay book. I do like that twist at the ending. I like what the die is used for, that 20-side die at the end. That was kind of cool and that was unique. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be picking up issue 2 for it. So, sorry. That's it's a blast, but for no other reason, just I didn't get into it. Drew, did you read Die?
No, funny story about that is I did not read
you.
Die. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
You die. Let's check in with the chat, though.
Well, check in with the chat. Well, yes, please.
Because nobody else is doing that. We got C Wood up in the chat. We got Comics with Bueller chatting it up. We got Double S Comics Reader, my nephew, up there chatting it up as well. A chittin' and a chattin'. Jockio passed on Shazam. But he did think Die was really cool. He's got high hopes for that. JLS Comics in the chat. We got Comic Core. Chad is in the chat. Everybody's chatting, having a good time. Beyond the Blast Doors just popped in as well. Great Star Wars podcast. If you guys are Star Wars fans, be sure to check that out. Yeah. Joe, what's your book this week?
I'm going to go with Self-Made. I found this to be a very interesting book. I'm reading along, and then all of a sudden, it rebooted on me. And I thought, I was like, did I get a printer error or some sort? And they just went with a different storyline. So I kept reading it, and then it did it again. Now I'm starting to get annoyed with this book. And then all of a sudden, at the end, I realize it's the Matrix. They're inside a video game simulation, and some douchebag who's some genius gamer got all upset because he couldn't win. So they literally would go back to the checkpoint in a game. And I was like, oh my God, now it makes sense, right? I love it. I love it when a book surprises me like that. And then I can't wait for the next issues. However, I don't see this being something that's going to last very long for me. I'm going to end up dropping this eventually. But I mean, for the first couple issues, I think I'm really going to be enjoying this. This was just fun to read. It was unusually written. And it kind of annoyed you. And then all of a sudden, oh, that makes sense. And I liked that. That was pretty cool about this book. Self-Made.
Do you read that one, Mike?
Funny story about that. I did not.
I read it as well. Yeah, the whole stopping and restarting over. I thought maybe somebody had that power and was like, okay, no, we're going to restart this. You know, come to find out that did you spoil it, Joe? Did you talk about the end? I didn't know. I was doing something else.
He just wasn't listening when you were talking.
If you haven't read it by now, shame on you. So yeah, I ruined it.
Okay, no. The whole twist at the end, That was okay. I don't think it was a great twist. Came out of blue, that's for sure. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but it seemed like it could be more self-aware. Would be a better name for the book. I don't know, versus self-made. I don't know. Maybe she's making her own life and maybe making her own decisions. Maybe that's where they're coming from. That. But unfortunately, I'm not picking up book number 2. I can't talk tonight. Book number 2 is not picking up for me. So, Drew, how about you? Did you read Self-Made?
No, it didn't even hear about Self-Made. I'm glad you kind of liked it.
Whatever.
I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy for you guys.
Well,
I didn't read it, so I can't speak on it.
I know, but you normally would. Though.
Trying to be respectful to the creators of Self-Made and not run down their book that I didn't read. I'm sorry. Hey, I didn't read Self-Made. I hear it sucks. Is that better?
I guess so.
Is that a more passionate take?
Mike, your first book.
Let's do X-Men: The Exterminated. This is pretty good. We get Hope Summers. She's actually training some younger X-Men, Glob included. I think I love Glob, so it's pretty awesome. Bet you do.
You like globs?
I do. I like your globs.
Gobs and gobs of globs.
Her, Hope, and Jean Grey have a moment together about Cable's death. They actually go decide to see what's in his safe houses. First house, they run into Deadpool, who's trying to steal some shit, and that's pretty funny. Second one, they take a stab at, I think, Liefeld's art with his huge shoulder pads. Pretty funny. They finally find something useful, a time machine, and Hope wants to go back in time to try to save Cable. Jean won't let her. They have another moment, and I thought it was pretty good. There's also a backup Cyclops story. So this is a stash. Got this Mole Man variant for the Fantastic Four Villains Month. Or week, whatever it is.
I did not pick up that one this week. Drew, I'm sure you read it. It's an X-Men book.
Yeah. Mike seemed to really like this. I picked up the A cover. The art in this book is absolute trash. From cover to cover, both stories. It's hard to look at. It's just not a good looking book. The first story is kind of all over the place about Hope wanting to go back in time, find a time machine. It's really dumb. Deadpool's in there, so it kind of has a little bit of levity to it, which kind of ruins the heartfeltness of it. I feel it's kind of all over the place. I didn't like it at all. And the backup story is about how Cyclops is going to be a really good dad to Cable, which we all know he wasn't, like, ever a really good dad to Cable. Like, yeah, for a period of time, like, Red and Slim raised him in the future somewhere, but, like, he was being chased by, like, cyborgs in the woods and had, like, technoviruses and shit. Like, Cyclops was never a great dad. Like, even, like, when they would spend time together fighting Apocalypse or something, it was just kind of like this old dude being like, yeah, you're my dad, I don't expect anything from you. Like, so I don't understand where all this came from, where Corsair, who was not a good dad, is trying to teach Cyclops to be a good dad, who was not a good dad, and the whole thing is like, you're going to be a good dad. And he wasn't a good dad, so what am I supposed to think about this damn thing? It was just like, this is the dumbest. This, like, Doomsday Clock came out this week, and this is my shit book of the week. This is my blast of the week. Blast it.
Paul, did you read X-Men Extermination?
No, and I'm glad I didn't.
How about you, Joe?
Yeah, unfortunately, I read it.
Was he a good dad?
I'm sorry?
Was he a good dad?
Cyclops? I don't fucking know. Who am I to judge? Okay, so yeah, Deadpool is in it. I laughed out loud twice, and then I sat there, spend the rest of my time while reading this book, thinking, "What are they trying to tell me?" Like, dealing with the death is hard. Got it. Don't need to read about it in a comic book. If you could turn back time as the song would go, would you change anything different? Well, if we do, we're going to screw everything up. Mind you, so what? That half the comic books today are based off that concept. So that would have been something cool. Yeah, there was just nothing in this book. One cool little fight scene, a bunch of traveling around to safe houses, somewhat of a joke. At the end of the day, I felt like I was reading somebody's diary versus reading a comic book. And that's not what I spend money on. So I was upset. So yeah, this is a blast.
I want to interject something else. It's not about being a dad. You made a point. You said that you don't want to people dealing with death is hard, and you don't want to see that in a comic book. I actually kind of disagree. I think that some post-death issues or some better issues of comics, like some of the goodbye stuff to Steve Rogers when they killed off Cap, that was really good stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there that can handle that job well. But the point is that Cable is a time traveler who at any time can just pop back in as Cable from 2 hours before he got killed and be back in the story. And there's already another Cable that's young Cable that's already back in the book already. So he's a paradox waiting to happen. He's gonna be back. This is not a permanent death. It is the most comic book of comic book deaths, and he died in a series that isn't even finished yet. So it's like maybe if it was a point in death, this eulogy issue would matter, but it certainly doesn't.
Yeah, and the Cyclops story at the end, I didn't even understand why that was in there. It made no sense.
Okay, moving on to, I'm gonna go with my pick of the week, man. Yeah, it's got to be my pick of the week. And I don't know if we want to spoil it. I think Drew and I are the only two that read this book. But it's finally went somewhere after months and months of kind of like slowly building up to something. It finally went somewhere, and finally something happened with it. I'm not talking about Doomsday Clock either. I'm talking about Walking Dead 186. God, most of the story, you know, if you read Walking Dead, Rick's group meets another group. They have disagreement. Rick's group, they have a fight. They take over the situation. You know, it meets the new leader. The new leader's bad. Rick takes over, and Dwight's been pushing and pushing Rick to take over Commonwealth. There's something wrong. The governor of Commonwealth is there's something wrong. We need to take the people over. These people are suppressed and everything like that. Now, should we spoil it, Drew, or not?
I'm going to spoil it.
Okay. Well, then I will spoil it here.
So go ahead and spoil it.
So, the confrontation at the end, Rick and Michonne are talking with Dwight, and the governor's actually been listening in, which kind of really pisses off Dwight. Dwight steps up, pulls a gun on the governor, threatening to kill, and Rick takes out Dwight. So, what I love about this, it's a totally new concept. Here we are. It's going to twist stuff completely around. So it's not just the same story of Rick meeting somebody and trying to take over. Rick now has chosen a side. He took out one of his own because he doesn't feel this new society needs to be taken over, needs to be run how they want to run it. Freaking pick of the week. I just love how this twist is going to do, and I'm wondering what it's going to do from here on out with Michonne and Rick's relationship with the rest of his people. I think it's going to blow it wide open, and it's just amazing to me. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, man, this is a stash all the way. It asks a lot of questions about where this thing is going to go moving forward. I like the fact that it's Rick chose the side of Michonne, but he feels pitted against her at the same time at the end of this book. How quick it turned from nothing's happening, this is building, nothing's happening, this is building, to him shooting Dwight in the fucking head over somebody he doesn't really even know. Yeah, it became quite the twist. I didn't see it coming. It came a mile away.
See, I don't think anybody else in the panel reads Walking Dead. Oh, Joe's has Walking Dead. Go ahead, Joe. What'd you think of it?
Stepped up. Mike, you read it too, didn't you?
Buy them. I don't read them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I picked it up and I read it. When I buy things, I read them. Not
Yeah,
a big
hear that,
Walking
Mike?
Dead fan. Not a big Walking Dead fan to begin with. I think I remember reading a couple issues back in the day, and I was like, "This is garbage." So I decided to give it another shot. Picked it back up. I like it. I really enjoyed this issue. I think it really spoke to the. And if you played Red Dead Redemption, you probably understand. And you're around chapter 4, you'll probably understand this. That dealt with pragmatism versus idealism, and this was a great episode of that in the book. You know, you got the pragmatist belief, and then you got the idealism of holding up rules and virtue and all that. And then all of a sudden, the iconic people of these two things, they just drop a body. It was just straight up zero cares, dropping a body right there. And I was like, holy crap, why have I not been reading this? So I got a lot of back issues to go through.
I mean, Dwight's been his right-hand man for quite some time, but there've also been a lot of cracks and stuff in their relationship where Dwight's made decisions which kind of pissed off Rick, and Rick's kind of do things that pissed off Dwight. But I didn't see that coming at all. I mean, so
even when I first started reading the book, I'm reading through it, and I'm like, okay, this guy's a problem. And I remember thinking, why does he just shoot him in the head and be done with it? And then like 2 pages later, happens, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Okay, moving on to Drew's next book. If you want to,
let's go ahead and check in with the chat here.
Sure.
We got Pope Grimy and All About Comics, our brothers from Comics and Cold Ones. They are hanging out in the chat, as well as Bruce Zayas up in the chat with Bake the Snake. We got anybody else? Oh, Jason Smith is here. What's up, Smithy?
Your favorite postman. Jason
Yeah.
Smith.
Posty McPostmans. All right. What kind of books you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about a good
Your
book?
choice.
Good book.
Your choice.
Talk about. Find a book to talk about. Let's talk about Prodigy. Yeah, Prodigy #1. Mark Millar did it again with Raphael Albuquerque on art. This is a fantastic #1 issue. The smartest man in the world shows his upbringing and his current status, and he is being faced with a problem that nobody else can solve. So really cool stuff. Really excited about this. These are normally short runs, probably be 6 or 12 issues at most. So yeah, man, I'm excited about Prodigy. This was close to being my pick of the week this week, but really cool.
Paul, did you read that?
Yep, and that's one of my co-picks of the week. And the exact same words. Mark Millar did it again. It was amazing. Invasion from a Parallel Earth, check. Ancient Russian Prophecies, check. Sign me up. I mean, that's me in a nutshell right there. I'm going to read that from start to finish.
Joe?
Yes, I absolutely love this book. My favorite line in the whole book is when Dad throws some change at him and goes, "Here's your inheritance." And he's like, "I'm going to make this $1 billion," and does. It was awesome. I got 4 of the more rarer variants. They're stashed away right now. And it's already been optioned. It's just crazy. This is a great book. I thought it was going to be a douchebag book where he just figured everything out in his mind. But, you know, that's why sometimes you just got to read it through. And reading it through, it turned out to be just a great book, great storytelling, you know, self-resiliency at its finest. It was awesome.
Mike?
Yeah, so this one, you know, he starts out as a young kid who's picked on by some bullies, and he says, fuck it, he's going to bunch of martial arts films, moves, and he goes back and beats all their asses. He as a young kid, he actually surgery on his friend. I think a heart surgery. Takes place, man. Beats everyone in that. There's an asteroid about to hit the Earth. He comes up with plans for that. Fucking does stunts for fucking school children on the side. From Parallel Earth, I think Paul touched start appearing, and the CIA at the end. And there's more to the story. I love the art. This is my pick of the week, Prodigy. So
Why am I on the outs so much this week? I feel like I'm just like I did not like this book. I think this is one of 6. Usually my large stuff is usually 6 issues, I think. I didn't like it. To go back to what Joe said, he thought it was going to be a douchebaggery book. I thought he wasn't kind of a douchebag. I just didn't like it. There are little hints of me when he was younger, kind of remind me of Damian Wayne a little bit. That arrogance, that kind of, well, I've been back on his feet in no time in the middle of open heart surgery. There's another book I was really looking forward to, and for me, it just didn't deliver on. It's not horrible, but it's definitely not a pick of the week. I'll probably end up picking up the whole miniseries just to complete that run. But unfortunately, hopefully it gets better. But it's a light blast for me. Man,
if it gets any better, I might explode.
Well, I guess I'm just on the outs this week completely.
And what do you mean? What do you mean this week?
I was just gonna say because I probably got one I actually liked. You guys are like, oh my god, what a turd! But go ahead there, Paul, with your next book.
Let's see. Let's do Marvel Knights.
That came out this week. Shit, I missed it. Sorry.
On a normal week, this would be pick of the week, but it got edged out by some other excellent books. It's still amazing though. This one didn't really move the story along much. It was more to introduce some more of the characters. But I really like how they're doing the characters in this book, so I'm loving it. It's, just everything about this book is great. It's one of the better Marvel books all year. Definite stash.
Anybody else read Marvel Knights this week? Joe? No. Mike? No. Drew?
Yeah, it's Marvel Knights, man. It's Donny Cates' story. He didn't write the issue, but he did break the story. And it hasn't really built up any further, like Paul said. But we do get a Hulk in this issue, which is kind of cool. I'm excited to see what's going on with the villain side of things, and we don't get much of that. So excited to see where it goes moving forward. It's a stash.
Okay, moving on to Joe and your next book.
Yes. Let's go with Killmonger, #1. Yeah, I picked it up and I read it, and guess what? It was actually pretty decent. This was actually a pretty good book. It told a full story right there in the beginning. Yeah, you're dealing with some of the issues that he had in the movies. He likes the word colonizer, and some of that's played into it, but it's not the main theme of the story. The main theme of the story is just how he became a badass so fast, so quick. They did try to play up him being a genius a little too much with the whole MIT thing, which I found a little confusing. How do you become a badass ninja and still have time to get a degree at MIT all in before the age of 25? It's kind of weird. But okay, I'll follow that. Whatever. It's just a comic book. You do superhero-y stuff all the time in here. But I will say that the art in this was great. Great story. Some interesting things happening in here. We got a villain team that he's kind of teaming up with. So I'm kind of excited about it, but I will drop this in a heartbeat when it gets stupid. So light stash.
Mike, you read Killmonger? No Killmonger,
No.
Mike? Drew?
No.
I pick up just about every piece of bullshit that Marvel publishes, and I did not buy this.
Wow.
And Paul? Nope.
I
Okay.
suggest when it hits the dollar bin, check it out.
Mike, you're up with your next book.
Let's do Uncanny. This is still great. Learn more about Nate Gray and his plans. Fucking Legion is awesome in there. There's another great panel with X-23 who wants to go stab a megalodon shark. So that was pretty awesome. More glob goodness. This is a stash. This is so awesome. So,
Drew, you holding up that Jesus cover?
Jesus, baby. We also got the Liam cover as well. Real cool stuff. Was excited to grab that. Yeah, man. The story's got wheels, man, and it is rolling. It is rolling down the hill. And I'm not saying it's rolling down the hill as if it's getting bad. It's rolling down the hill as it's picking up steam. It's like gravity exponentially pulling it forward. This is good shit. It's a weekly title, and it's rolling fast, man. Hop on it. I'm loving it. This is my stash of the week. Uncanny X-Men, man.
I can't wait to get to the shop on Tuesday. I don't want to pick up my books. Shh, don't tell anybody. And read Uncanny X-Men the first thing I do. Why don't you just mute me?
You're still doing it.
Why don't you just mute me?
You mute yourself.
I can't hear it.
You do. We go like this. That's the cue. Turn your shit off.
I'm not paying attention, man. Just mute me. This is a producer issue, folks. Just mute me.
Hey, don't blame this. I don't have time. I'm too busy concerned about my eardrum being blown out to mute you.
I'm not concerned about your eardrums. So if you're concerned about your eardrums, mute me. Yeah, it's a stash. Stash of the week.
I'm totally discombobulated. I don't even know where to go next.
It's a stash. It's a stash of the week. It's everybody's stash of the week. Everybody loved it.
No.
Whoa.
Oh, Paul read X-Men?
No.
Just let it stand.
No, because they all suck now.
Have you been reading it?
Until they started sucking.
They've been great for the last 4 issues.
The only one that was any good was X-Men Red, and even that's tanking lately.
It's over.
I didn't get to the end because it started sucking. Remember what Chad did with it Friday? Over
yes.
the shoulder.
Joe, how about you read Uncanny X-Men this week?
Yes, I did. I love the second coming of Jesus story. Yeah, what do we got in this book? We got a lot of cool stuff going on. We have a omniscient being and his 4 horsemen approaching a bunch of people that are, one side's very angry with the social aspects of mutants, and then we got the mutants themselves having to deal with everyday issues, plus now Jesus Magneto falling from the heavens with his apocalypse. Good stuff, actually. I've really been enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's my stash of the week. Some parts of it were just kind of at best. Other parts of it I was like pretty cool, but nothing really wowed me about the book. But I'll keep buying them and keep checking them out.
Okay, so moving on to me and my next book. I'm not sure if anybody else reads this book. Drew may. Unnatural number 5. Image Comics. I put a little tape over the bad naughty parts there. I don't want to get flagged. So, continuing story. Leslie is on the run. She's been accused of murder of her friends, but she ended up meeting the wolf that's been kind of protecting her. We find out a little backstory on him. He kind of has some supernatural powers, and she meets this other pig that's supposed to help her figure out what's going on. So this has been pretty good. This story's been kind of hit or miss, but it's a 12-issue maxi series. So again, I'll probably end up picking up all these just to get them, even though they may have the nasty, dirty cover like this. I'll pick them up. You know, they were making fun of it. Say, hey, if what's her name from the Muppets, Miss Piggy was that? I probably would have watched Muppets a little bit more, but you know. Anybody else read? Oh yeah, Drew got them. Oh yeah, he's covering the dip.
Squeaky. Yeah, man, I like Pig Nips. This is a good book. Pig Nips is good. Stash it.
That's all you got on that? Is this
Look, man, Pig Nips is good. It's a good story about socially conscious sexuality and racism and shit. And I don't know. It's good. I like it.
Anybody else read the Nasty Pig book this week?
There's pig nips in it.
No,
What else you want?
Are there pig nips actually in this issue? I think so. When a guy shoved a other pig out of bed. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some nice pig nips on them, too.
Okay, moving on from pig nips to Drew's next book.
You're the one who brought up pig nips, man. I want to talk about Doomsday Clock.
Yay!
Hey, look at Boobastis. He's all pink and he's on the front of the cover. And if you guys watched my video, I put it out on Thursday. I said that you shouldn't even bother with this. And guess what? You shouldn't, because the story is terrible.
But 8 issues in to a 12-issue series.
He was going to try to mute you, but he didn't get there quick enough.
No.
Jesus Christ.
It's Doomsday Clock. That's what's going on here.
That right there is your commentary on the issue, I think.
It's been like 2 weeks since my mic has been really screwing up. I've been on a couple different shows. I made a couple of videos myself. My mic has not been screwing up. And now all of a sudden, Doomsday Clock comes out. I'm talking about it. I'm saying kind of nice things. And it starts screwing up.
You weren't saying kind of nice things about Doomsday Clock. You were saying it was garbage.
No, I said you shouldn't waste your time with it. The story sucks. But this finally something happens. 8 issues in to a 12-issue series. Something finally happens. Is this the slow burn? I don't know, because it really has nothing to do with anything that's happened so far in this book. But beyond the art being absolutely terrible, this was actually kind of readable. I like the Black Adam stuff. I liked the fact that Superman found himself in a vulnerable position and ended up doing something stupid, because that's kind of what had to happen. I don't like Firestorm. Firestorm needs to not be anywhere near any book that I ever have to read, and that kind of sucked. Lois Lane's face was horrible. We'll say that. Out of the most blastable series in the history of Blast It or Stash It, that everybody seems to still be reading for some reason, this is actually kind of a soft stash. Yeah, I'll say that. Kind of a soft stash. But this Gary Frank art, oh my God, why are there so many lines on everybody's faces? Why? Why is everybody so wrinkly? Everybody's so goddamn wrinkly. Everybody looks like the old lady kids from the Shazam book. Every panel. Every single one. It's terrible.
Paul, did you read Doomsday Clock this week?
No, I gave up on that series when it sucked, and the fact that it takes about 6 to 8 months between each issue.
Yeah, see, I'll forget you're not reading it next time it comes around, too.
Yeah, well, because it's been so damn long.
Yeah. How about you, Joe?
No.
Mike?
Yeah, I actually loved it. I thought it was pretty good. This was close to my pick of the week. This is best issue yet. So it's a stash for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a stash for me. Definitely a lot of action going on in here. We have Putin. He's in here as well. They never say he's Putin, but it sure looks like Putin. So yeah, I do like it. A lot of stuff happened. Now, is it going to fit in with the rest of the story? Where does Firestorm play in with the bigger picture of this? Who knows? I thought that the Blue Man from the Watchmen was going to be in there. What's his name? Dr. Manhattan. Yeah, I thought
he was.
He was.
Yeah.
Where?
He was the explosion.
Was he the explosion?
It's not Firestorm. Blue explosion.
No, I guess I never caught on with that. I didn't catch on that. Sorry.
No, that's Jeff John's storytelling for you there. He hit you over the head with a sledgehammer with it, and you still didn't get it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but it's a stash for me. Best book of the series so far. Moving on to Paul and your next book.
My next book is Winter Soldier #1. This is the Winter Soldier series I wanted, not that Abortion was the last series. this is awesome. Winter Soldier starting his own witness protection program, and in the first issue, it already starts going sideways. Because of Captain America, Winter Soldier's one of my favorite characters, so I'm going to be getting it anyway, but it was really good. I really liked it. Definite stash.
Joe, you read Winter Soldier?
I did. It was an okay story. I didn't get too hyped about it. Loved the ending. The very last panel. I thought that was kind of cool, and who he kind of reminded me of. It's Bucky from the original Captain America story. And apparently he's got a problem with Winter Soldier and wants to drop that body. However, the art in it was kind of lackluster for me. It just seemed kind of, I don't know. They had a great opportunity to do great. If they took the artwork from here and stuck it in this book, oh yeah, this would definitely have been my stash of the week, no doubt. But they didn't do that. So the art was kind of hard on it. Like sometimes even at some points it was kind of hard to figure out what was going on in some of this. But again, I'll keep picking this up because I want some more of that good Bucky goodness at the end of it.
See, for me, the art was pretty good because most Marvel art lately is about half finished. This looks like it was about 3/4 finished. So
I'll give you that. And it definitely wasn't that hard pastel stuff that they've been trying to pass off lately. But again, I like that more crisp, clean artwork that you see in books. And I didn't get that in this. And that was probably my only real hang up with it. At parts, the story was kind of predictable, right? But they're going to be in a first issue because, let's face it, there's nothing original anymore. But I like where they're going with it. I'll give it that.
All this Marvel being approved, according to Funkoff. Do you die? Mike, did you read Winter Soldier this week?
No, I missed that one.
I did too. I thought it was pretty good. Again, the very last panel is what got me hooked and want to read issue 2. I did think this was funny here. Winter Soldier's leading a guy on a bike. The guy has way too big of a smile to be riding bitch on a bike. I tell you that much. That that was entirely too much smiling for both men riding a motorcycle. You don't do that.
It's a lot of judgment.
Hey, you never know. Hey. The art was okay. There's some hit or miss stuff in there, but it was pretty good. Again, like I said, the last panel is what sold me on it. Picking up issue 2 for sure. Drew, how about you? What did you think of Winter Soldier?
I think I didn't read it.
Oh, well, screw you. Moving on.
What?
Passing judgment on me. Joe, what's your next book?
Oh, let's go ahead and talk about probably my stash of the week, and if the run keeps going this way, my stash for the rest of the year until this ends. And that was I want to say Justice League, but we all know better. It was Legion of Doom. This was epically awesome. It is good to read a book where there's no superheroes. There's nothing good happening. It is just 3 forces of different types of evil clashing into each other. You have the traditional Joker, who's a nihilist, and of course he works a deal because that's what Lex Luthor does. Lex Luthor is smarter than everybody else and doesn't feel he needs to keep his word. Gets our favorite character coming out of Chains, the Batman Who Laughs, works a deal with him, but nothing says he has to honor any deal. And Joker is pissed, and he wants to show how pissed he is. So what are we dealing with in this book? Joker being the traditional nihilist, beautiful. Lex Luthor being a conscient mind and body and action, doing what he does best, whatever he wants, and not nihilistic, but narcissistic. And then the Batman Who Laughs, true chained up evil, ready to do even more evil. And then the sneak preview at the end of this just is even hyping me even more for the Batman Who Laughs issue number 1 that's about to come out. This was just awesome. The artwork in it was beautiful too. I enjoyed that as well. I can't talk enough about this book, so I'm going to stop so the rest of you can.
Mike, you read that?
Yeah, like Joe said, if you go into this looking for the Justice League. They're not in it. Fucking, it's all Joker goodness. Lex Luthor. Art is fucking amazing. This was also one, should have been my pick of the week, but I wanted that cover. Unfortunately, I didn't get that one. Look at Aquaman's face right there. Looks like a fucking caveman.
Cro-Magnon Aquaman. He speaks to the Cro-Magnon fishes.
I read part of it. I didn't get a chance to finish it though. Drew, what'd you think of Justice League or Legion of Doom? What do you want?
I give it 5 Cro-Magnon Aquaman foreheads up. This is a good book, man.
This again, the Fu
quality
Manchu
stuff.
Dude, there's Fu Manchu?
You know what? Who did this cover? I don't know, man, but I really dig it until you really look at it. Like from across the room, it's beautiful. And then you get up on it and you're like, what the fuck is going on with Flash's mouth? And Batman's got this snooty ass look on his face, and Wonder Woman's leering over her shoulder, and Aquaman is a caveman. And don't get me started on how racist that look on John Stewart is. It's just not good, man. This is like it's from across the room, man. It's impressive. But hey, the interior art in this was great. If you guys want to know what inter-office drama at the Legion of Doom headquarters is like, it's kind of like this. Lex Luthor is he's kind of a douche. Joker's like, look, man, I was gonna totally fuck you over, and you ruined that. So now I'm going to totally fuck you over worse. I can't wait to see when the shoe drops what the Joker ends up doing. So I'm excited for this. Good stuff.
Paul, did you read that one this week? No? Okay. I have something stuck to my arm. I'm going to go over 2 books real quick. One is... this is called Hyperia. It's actually a local artist, local writers. I want to read this little insert here in the front cover. This says, On the Fly Comics is a compilation of 5 artists who challenge themselves to create a 30-page comic in 10 hours. Are we crazy? Yes, we are. It was insane, but it was extremely fun with only a vague plot. Matt, Vince, and Mark were tasked with creating 10 pages each. Ryan whipped up an amazing cover, and Mike did the pinups. And I hope you enjoy. So this whole book was created in 10 hours. It's all black and white. So this is from the same guy that wrote that. I did that cover for me, that X-Men cover, not X-Men cover, the Wolverine cover. So definitely go. I mean, you can go check their websites out. But it was kind of a cool thing to do a book in 10 hours. That's all they gave them. So limited 10 hours. 10 pages each. It's kind of a cross between like a space opera and like a Twilight Zone. It has that kind of twist at the end of it. So definitely kind of cool stuff. Go check them out. Maybe I'll put link to their stuff on our Facebook page. The other book I did want to talk about was is Grumble #1 by Albatross. I don't know if anybody else picked up Grumble. They had some variant covers apparently for it too. This starts out in Baltimore, believe it or not. Is it Baltimore? I think it is Baltimore.
Man, it sounds scary.
It does sound scary. Was this book was Baltimore, or was it the other one? No, it said back in Baltimore. So I'm wanting to know, is this the bar that Drew works at? It's called Ham's Bar. That's the bar you work at right there?
No, I don't work at Ham's.
Damn it.
I think Ham's is a real place.
You think Ham's is a real place?
I've never heard of it.
I'm sure there's a Ham's Bar out there somewhere in the world.
Sliders? I work at JD's.
JD's Smokehouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the story, this woman's trying to find this guy. He's in there playing cards with these. You don't really know what they are yet, but you find out the people have been cheating him because he had some luck charms on him. She ended up saving him. He turned himself into a pug to try to escape. There's some essentially bounty hunters coming after them. It was actually a pretty good book. I enjoyed it. Pretty fast pace. You definitely check out this book here. They had a couple, I said, variant covers where they slipped in one of them with some word bubbles for her talking and some with the pug talking. And those are kind of like limited, like 300 a piece or some bull crap like that. But I thought Grumble was actually a pretty good book. Anybody else read that one? No? I'm the only one who picks up Albatross? Okay, moving on. Drew, back to Drew. We'll do one more round of books, and then we'll do a quick round.
Just a quick note. Ham's Liquor is a bar in Baltimore, Maryland.
Ham's Liquor is?
It's called Ham's Liquor, but it is a bar/restaurant. Has 1 star.
What's the address?
It is 4901 Bel Air Road.
Oh, 4901? Yeah, no, that's not good.
Is that like Dundalk or?
No, it's like I mean, Bel Air Road runs out from the city to like through like Overley into like Perry Hall up to my way, but
that's a nice way of saying it. Runs through the ghettos to the nice areas.
Well, the 4900 block is not a nice area. It hasn't been since I was born in '83, so
that wasn't a nice area in that book either. So
yeah, let's talk about Venoms. Symbiote's a dog. That's pretty cool. Venom's dad's a deadbeat, or he just doesn't want to be bothered, or he's beating up Eddie's little brother he didn't know he had, or there's some other weird stuff going on here. I don't know. It was pretty cool. I got this Red Ghost cover too. It was my favorite of the Fantastic Four variants, villain variants, and it's really the only one I picked up. I thought it was really cool. Yeah, like it.
Paul, you read Venom?
Not yet.
Joe?
Nah.
Mike?
Yeah,
you read Venom.
I read. So Eddie and his Venom dog make it to San Francisco. His dad, things don't go well. He tries to eat him, and we found out his dad has another son. Eddie's half brother, I guess, finds Eddie and says we met, and we don't know why. So definite stash.
I didn't bother with the monkey cover. I didn't want it. Anything monkeys had anything to do with my Venom book.
Super 8, man.
No monkeys. Well, the part you guys left off too is that Eddie's dad forgets they have a sister. Too. That was part of the storyline too.
We saw a monkey at dinner tonight.
You did. Joe was with you?
Yes.
Venom is a stash, though, for me. Paul, do you have any books left? You should have like one book left, right?
Yeah, I have one book left, and that's from Ahoy Comics. It's Wrong Earth #4. I cannot say enough about this series. It's if you like things like Watchmen and things like that, you will love this. The art is good. It's about two superheroes from parallel Earths. Them and their greatest villain go between the Earths, and it's amazing. One is kind of like the 60s campy Batman, and one of them is like the Dark Knight Batman, and it's super violent, but at the same time it's funny. I urge you to go out and get all 4 issues because it's just great.
Anybody else read that one this week?
First issue, and I liked it.
Yeah, I read the first issue as well.
I got the first 4 issues, but I got them put away.
I ain't read none of them issues.
None of them issues.
None of them issues.
Okay, Joe, what's your next book?
Let's go with I'm on an indie kick this week. I don't know what that's about. Let's go with Freeze. First off, I'm going to say right up off the bat, this is the stupidest cover I've ever seen on the front of a comic book. good thing about it is has nothing to do with what's going on inside of it. It's kind of a weird story. What we got, for some reason, everybody froze. We don't know why. We don't know how. We're not even sure. All we know is that this guy, whenever he touches somebody, animates them. And I thought that was kind of stupid, right? But then right there at the beginning of that was the summary I got from the book. So I started reading the book right there in the front. They had this badass operation where this guy and some ninjas go down, some straight up stone face killers. They go to save some lady and they get it out. And then they kind of flash to how all this started. So I'm going to keep reading this to get to where it's no longer talking about the past and it's up to date, because that seemed really cool. This why everybody's frozen thing, I don't know, but we're going to find out. Hopefully it's something really cool. So I'll hang on to this for a little while longer. I will say the art in this is actually, I really enjoyed the art in it. I was kind of impressed. And the story can make sense as long as the next 2 issues explain it. And that's going to be the key here to keep this book survival into my long boxes.
Mike, you read that?
No.
Yeah, I read it. I think maybe it's his loving touch that unfreezes people. That's why they have a little heart in his chest. Because he's the only one that can unfreeze people. Everybody else touches people, and they don't unfreeze them.
He needs to get with Iceman.
He does. So,
Oh my!
talking about touching yourself, Drew, did you read this book too?
No, but I do have a theory about why they're all frozen.
And why they're all touching themselves?
It has to do with the cha-cha slide. Have you guys ever done the cha-cha slide?
I can't say I have.
It tells you to freeze. And then I believe in issue number 2, everybody's going to clap their hands.
Oh, that song. You think so? You think everybody's going to clap their hands?
It's the next logical move in the cha-cha slide, Dave. I don't know what else you want from me here, man. I'm here. I'm just an idea guy.
I can't say that I've read the cha-cha slide.
You don't know the cha-cha slide? Go to some weddings, bro.
Dude, I don't need to go to any weddings. Okay.
Open bars, cha-cha slides. What's not to love?
Mike, you're up.
We
No, we got one more review to go through, and then we'll do lightning round. So you're up, and now I'm up, then we're doing lightning.
All right. This is my, if I can find it, my shit book of the week. I don't know why the fuck I bought it. Don't even like the character. Manhunter, number 1. Put in KS book. Go fuck yourself, DC. Fucking Martian Manhunter character. Blast. Turd of the week. Fuck it.
I have to agree with you in even less words. Yeah, I didn't even finish the book. I love the Joshua Middleton cover on this, but other than that, it was a turd for me.
Didn't you like the Martian tentacle sex or whatever it was?
I don't know if I got that far into the book. Maybe I might like it after that. I don't know. Drew, did you read Martian Manhunter?
Yeah, no, I did not.
We know
I couldn't be bothered to read Killmonger. I'm not going to be reading Martian Manhunter.
How about you, Joe? Did you read Martian
Value
Manhunter?
my time, god damn it.
Yeah, I read it. No, that was a horrible book. First off, Martian Manhunter was he was basically a cop on Mars, and he extorted people for cash. And then all of a sudden, his story kicks in that we all know and love. He comes to Earth, lies to everybody about who he is, gets married, lies to her, and then we're supposed to believe that this is a superhero to some degree. No, not buying it, and I will not be picking up any more of those. They kind of ruined that for me.
Yeah, so my last book, I mean, I have a few over here. I'll go with one. I actually enjoyed this one this week, and that was Deadpool number 7. So the kids come to Deadpool with a whole bunch of money. They're saying, hey, we were on the naughty list, and Santa didn't bring us any gifts. We want you to go kill him. So they give Deadpool all this money. And Deadpool goes, he beat the crap out of Santa Claus. And Santa Claus is really skinny though, because I guess he hadn't been eating. He's been just drinking his. Let's see, there's a picture of the ripped Santa Claus right there. And Deadpool can't kill him. He said, I can't kill Santa Claus. He ended up finding a true reason why they didn't get gifts, because one of the elves got greedy and is now a part of Roxxon Toys. Deadpool goes over there, kills the elf, saves the day, delivers the presents. Christmas is saved via Deadpool. Good book. Actually enjoyed this. You must read Deadpool this week.
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, there's Drewy. Drew, what'd you think of Deadpool?
Yeah, I read it. Scotty Young wrote it, so of course I read it. This is good stuff. Scotty Young wrote it, so it's good. That's how Scotty Young's writing works. So if you like fun stuff, read it. If you don't like fun stuff, don't read it. It's your life, man. Live it.
Okay, limber up. It's time for lightning round. We'll start with you, Drew. Go ahead, give us your lightning round books.
Look lightning round. I got Avengers Prelude. I don't know why I picked this up. Who knows? Endgame's going to be cool. Infinity War was cool. So this is the first third of Infinity War in comic book form. So yeah, it's all right. Umbrella Academy. This is good stuff. I'm enjoying that. Stash it. Crowded. This issue is kind of slow for me, but yeah, it's all right as a series. I'm going to keep reading it. We got Bully Wars. More Scotty Young goodness. I'm fairly certain he does the layouts for these books, even though he's not drawing them. But man, he does know how to write a story. Really good stuff. Lots of fun. Food Fight issue. This Matina cover on Batman 60, man. This Matina cover, it's a Matina cover. It's so gorgeous, except for it looks like every fucking Matina cover in this run, except for the characters are like photoshopped and switched around. Yeah, okay, I get it. He's doing a lot of covers. That's fine. Like, but don't try to sell me on this being high quality stuff. I guess he's got a whole lot of files saved on his MS Paint or whatever. But yeah, it's okay. This story, man, I stashed Batman 59 after I blasted 58. And let me tell you what, everybody's on the edge of their seat to figure this one out. This one's a blast. Oh my God, Batman is so terrible right now. If you guys have any questions about how Batman should be written, just PM me. I'll go off about it. I don't have time in lightning round. Super Sons, this is great. This should be DC's flagship title. It's not, because they're sucking Bendis's dick for some subpar Superman shit. Merry X-Men Christmas Special. Yeah, a lot of people are blasting this all over the place. People, this is bullshit, blah, 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 blah. DNA cover, man, this looks like Adam Hughes, if Adam Hughes knew how to draw two or more different faces at the same time. And we got this like anime cover here. It's pretty cool. This is like an advent calendar. It's full of lots of feelings. We get to learn a lot about these characters and how they feel at the holidays. Some of them are outcasts and don't want to deal with their family, blah, 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 blah. Some of them are doing a white elephant gift exchange. Some of them are just like being attacked by racists on the street because it's written by Charlemagne the God. And if you know who that is, you know how ridiculous that is. But beyond that, this is a lot of fun. And I really enjoyed it, so I think you should check it out. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This is always a stash for me. You guys know how much I love my Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's some Christmas stuff, and it's kind of a night before Christmas kind of look. I enjoyed it. Check that out. I still haven't read Namor #1 yet. I meant to do that before the show. I worked late instead, but I did pick up this Scotty Young cover. It's absolutely beautiful. And after a few hiccups, the Immortal Hulk is one of the best series going right now, so pick that up. And that's all I got.
And Paul doesn't have any books for lightning round, but we will move over to Joe.
I only have a couple for the lightning round because my Midtown order, again, showed up late. So they'll be getting a phone call tomorrow and reimbursing me some package money. But let's talk about some of the stuff that I got anyway. I know it's Xenoscope, and I know a lot of people aren't into that, but seriously, how can you pass up this cover right here? Plus, the story's not that bad. This is Black Knight, issue #2. Kind of a weird story. I'm kind of not sure how much longer I'm going to keep this. But I'm digging it so far, so we'll just enjoy that. Namor #1, I went with this this variant right here. Really liking this. We got two kings going at it with two very views about each other, life, and how to run a kingdom. And they're going to battle it out. Pretty cool stuff. I did get the X-Men Holiday Special. This is a garbage book. I'm sorry. There was no story told in it whatsoever. It was just personal perspectives of a certain sentence. Didn't really get it. We found out who was Jewish, who celebrates Christmas, and who doesn't. And that was about it. Each story is about 1 page long, except for one that kept being broken up throughout the book. And it didn't make any sense. So that's done. And, of course...
Wait. Arcade's Murder Ball didn't make any sense?
No.
It was a murder ball.
There was no reason why Jubilee was in there.
Because she likes balls.
Yeah, nope. Not buying it. Now, was there some funny stuff? Yes, the Nightcrawler and Wolverine thing, that I chuckled at it, but again, that was it. It was like that's nice. What's next? Oh, it's a totally different story. Nothing came full circle. Okay. That's what I got from the whole thing. And I get that was the point of the book. But personal view wise, I don't like that kind of stuff. I'll read a comic strip if I want to see that. Next.
Oh, murder balls in the comic strips, Joey.
Yeah, right. This is cool. I've been in and out of this series consistently. So I'm kind of, I really like the artwork in this, really like the last 2 issues of this, really kind of made sense. It's telling a story, and now Hulk's in hell. Spoiler alert, too late, I know. Some back issue stuff that finally came in. Did get this cover for Spider-Man number 10.
Yeah, I wanted that cover.
Ooh, that's the Felicia.
And the Mayhew cover.
Went ahead and picked up another of the, well, we've all seen this one.
That's the camel cover. That's beautiful too.
Finally started checking out Oblivion Song since I've heard so much about it. Started from issue 1, got the 1 through 5 coming in, then I'll have 5 through whatever number they're up to now coming in after that. Some kind of just off the wall stuff that I picked up that I saw really cheap. El Diablo number 1. It still amazes me that this guy became the El Diablo in Suicide Squad. It is absolutely ridiculous and it makes no sense, but there is a connection there. It's weird. And this guy's fire powers are kind of lame. Masters of the Universe to Tempt the God number 1. Just completes. Finally found my number 1 issue for that. And last but not least, for some of you that don't know, my actual collection is Golden Age stuff. Love Golden Age stuff. If it's sci-fi, horror, or Dick Tracy, or something mobbish. It's my favorite, and I was able to pick up a 1939 Super Comics with Dick Tracy right there in the comic, or right there on the cover, and this is pre-Yellow Trench Coat Dick Tracy, which is not a whole lot of that going around out there, so I was really stoked to get this. Somebody asked if I've read it. No, this will never, ever leave this Mylar.
That's actually a pretty nice looking cover too for that old
so
book.
Clean, clean.
Did you count the pages?
Yeah, the pages are good. Staples are still solid. No rust on them. I was surprised by that because they used old school steel staples back then. All pages are in there. I got to give a shout out to Mike over there because we were going to meet up at his comic book shop and he ended up having to go do something else. So I started walking around finding things. And there it was in a Golden Age box that he brought to a convention that he hadn't quite cleaned out yet. And when I saw the price on it, I was like, okay, what's the non-convention price? And the guy actually brought it down some money for me. So that was really cool.
So Mike being late let a good deal for you.
Yeah, right. And until Tuesday, I won't get the rest of my books in. So unfortunately, that's all I got. Oh, I'm going to make a phone call tomorrow.
Mike, you're up. Lightning round for you.
Lightning round. Let's do this. Black Files number 2. Got to have my Suicide Squad. You love this one, so this is a stash. That Merry X-Men wealth. Retail has made me bitter through the Christmas, but I do love the Jubilee stuff in this. This was a blast. Green Lantern #2. I'm just not into it, but I will still pick up great covers like this one. With the Green Door, still awesome stuff. Interested with Hulk going to hell. Picked up Injustice versus Masters of the Universe, one issue away from the finale. Stuff there. I picked up both the Best Defense Namor. This issue, this is a blast. Also, I picked up the Immortal Hulk one, and that was also a blast. I also picked up Becky. Haven't read it yet. I need to find it in a magazine size. And I picked up Infinity Warps #2. So yeah, haven't read that either. And that's all I have.
Okay, just got a few that I did not read. All right, I did read but didn't talk about. Road of the Dead #2. I didn't know the $4.99 cover price on that SOB. Man, still good stuff. Enjoying that. Super Sons #5. Good stuff there. Batman #60. You didn't like the reveal at the end, Drew? That didn't even get you?
The reveal that he broke the freaking bat signal, or the reveal that Flashpoint Batman's still alive even though his whole universe fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
Like no. Like
Okay.
the fact that the button happened. Oh my god, the button. Don't bring me back to the button, Huey. For fuck's sake, don't bring me back to the button.
Mary X-Men, only read the first couple in this. I'm trying to use like an advent calendar, only read one a day.
Wait till you get to the Charlemagne the God.
Harley Quinn #55, just a Frank Cho cover. I have not been reading Harley Quinn, and I was happy to see Frank Cho was going to be off this book. So I'm like, oh god, I can drop it. Then I saw a tweet from Frank Cho said, "Okay, I'm back from my hiatus from Harley Quinn covers." Shit, so I'm gonna go pick up Harley Quinn covers again. I'm not sure if this came out this week or last week. It must have been last week. Old Lady Harley #2. Grab that one. I haven't read that yet. This might have come out last week too. Weatherman #5. Didn't get a chance to read that.
It came out last week. It was good.
I didn't. Hillbilly Red-Eyed Witchery from Beyond Part 3 of 4. I think I'm probably going to finish this arc out and probably not pick up any more. And this gorgeous Green Lantern #2 Matina cover. That black and green on that thing is gorgeous. And that's all the books I read this week. And we're done with comics. So it's time for Grandpa's segment.
Shut your fucking mouth!
We heard you snoring over there.
No. That's all I heard was no.
Not a whole lot of Funko news this week. If you're still in the Infinity Gauntlet Dome at Hot Topic, it will be releasing December 20th. So I want to see it up close first. I don't like them dome fucking Funkos. And only other really relevant piece of news I have is Jim Lee GameStop Flash is up for pre-releasing in January. I did things this week. First off, I picked up this at my I work at. It was only a couple bucks in the clearance bin. Some fucking random Venom figure. So I grabbed him. A box of Funko cereal. Bellator one. So I grabbed that.
Was that in your store?
The cereal?
Yeah, did you have to order that?
I ordered this through FY exclusive.
Okay. Hot Topic has the Elvira ones.
How does it taste?
Today. I'm not opening it. So.
Really?
Really.
It's full of delicious cereal.
Yeah, I can buy Fruit Loops.
Yeah, I got you right.
I was in Walgreens the other day, and I picked up Does Exist, Drew.
Yeah, is that something I should be on the lookout for, or is that showing up randomly?
All the times I've been in since it was released, I've only seen this one, so
I left it there.
I don't
I'll
know.
go check tomorrow.
Today I got an A-OK from Pocan Joe, and
Is that what they're calling hand
MacGyver.
jobs now?
He gave me a hand job in the rain. So thank you, buddy. I forget now. 700 or 977 or some shit. I don't know. But MacGyver. And that is all I got.
The MacGyver. That's Joe's new. The MacGyver.
That's his hand job maneuver.
Yeah, the MacGyver.
I'm known for my kind acts.
He's going to need some bubble gum and a paper clip and a rubber band, and we'll give you the best dead handy you've ever had.
I only got one Funko this week, and he was actually a loose Funko. Found him in it's not a flea market. It's the stores that people have little booths they sell stuff in. But
flea market.
No, it's not a flea market. It's an actual store, so it's not like it's open on weekends.
Like a pop-up?
Yeah, like a pawn shop kind of place. But it was this is Carl. The prison Carl. He has little keys there. It was only $3, so I grabbed him because most of my Walking Dead Funko Pops aren't in packaging. So I thought, what the hell? I was grabbing for $3.
I think that's the original.
That's the original Carl. Coral.
OG Coral.
I'll have to look him up while Drew's talking about his plastic. Or is it rubber?
No, I don't have any rubber. I don't believe in those. I'm a goddamn Catholic.
Whatever. So you had nothing this week? No toys?
No. I've been doing a lot of organization with my toys, so you might see some videos about that soon. But yeah, no, I didn't buy anything new.
I don't know if that's the original Carl or not. Paul, how about you? Any toys this week?
It's that whack ass second edition Carl.
Nope, nothing this week.
How about you, Joe?
I didn't. My wife subscribes to one of those gift box things, and a pop comes in it, and we were surprised because we got the Whiplash and Iron Man scene from the movie. This is actually kind of really detailed and really nice with the little lightning down it. I know the light's flashing off of it, but I thought that was a cigarette in his mouth. And my wife reminded me that the guy always had a toothpick in there. So I told her she's wrong because it looks like a cigarette, therefore it is a cigarette, which makes him that much cooler. Sneaky freaking Russians.
Yeah, nothing's cooler than cancer.
Everybody get cancer from something. Might as well be a cigarette. At least you know what you got it from.
Since we're speaking of the collector core boxes, the next theme is the X-Men. Amazon now to get those. So
I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about that collector core box, and it's like, out of the 10 years, the Marvel Studios, they picked Whiplash and Iron Man. Couldn't there be a more iconic scene from the past 10 years of Marvel movies they could have chosen for that? But it's pretty cool set though. I think we're gonna go to wrap it up. Yes, perfect timing. Drew, last minute shout outs.
Get your Funko out!
Get your Funko out, Drew.
Fine, guys, I will. What do I mean? If I had feelings, they might be hurt. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Brian Spaceboy, Jason Smith, great legend popped in the last couple minutes there. Got Chad from the Comic Core, as well as a lot of the Comic Core brothers coming through tonight. Glad to see them. Very happy to have all of you checking us out and chatting along with us along the way. I had a good night. I hope you guys had a good night too. That's all I got.
It was okay.
Hey,
Paul.
As always, shout out to everybody in the chat. Special shout out to our brother Jeremy Edwards. It's his birthday today.
Oh shit! Yeah, happy birthday, Jer.
And shout out to all the people from my brothers from the Comic Corps who popped in. And see you there Friday night. And next week we'll see you here on Sunday night.
Joe.
Hey guys, thank you all for coming in tonight. Appreciate everything being said over in the chat. Some of you guys are really hilarious. It's good stuff. What's coming up in the future? We got, of course, in the distant future, we have C2E2. Please, if you can make it to C2E2, let us know. Want to hang out with you. Want to get to know you better. Guys over at the Comic Corps, great show this week. Guys over at All About Comics, great show this week. I had a little extra time this week, so I was able to swing by to some of your shows. Really enjoyed it, especially the interview with Ahoy Comics there. That was really interesting stuff. Let's see what else. I got an auction going online right now, self-promotion. By all means, go over to my channel and the links down at the bottom. All the proceeds to this will go to C2E2. I plan on making beer and libations and really making this a party. And to offset the cost, me and Spectacular Spider Grandpa are running an online auction. It's not one of those live auctions. It's passive, doesn't close down until December the 20th. So please go check that out. I think we got good stuff on there. Definitely interesting stuff. What else is going on? That's all I got, I think.
Mike.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, speaking of that auction, if you go and you bid, and what'd you say, December 20th, we have a whole nother round and a round after that of more books coming. 4 Foxes over there, plus other stacks that'll be on eventually. So keep checking back. Couple new subscribers to my channel. Bat Freak 1983 and The Last Outlaw 511. Was like Paul said, special shout out to Trinity Comics, Trinity Entertainment, Jeremy Egghole.
Egghole.
Happy birthday, buddy. What?
So I said Egghole. Jeremy Egghole. No. Okay.
Jeremy Egghole.
That's what I heard.
It's his birthday. Don't call him an egg hole. I don't even know what that means. But that's
Neither do I. Mike called him an egg hole. I didn't call him
so
an egg hole.
derogatory. You're an egg hole.
Maybe I am.
Take that Shrek's finger and shove it where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, I might have to. Hey, so yeah, we got a few new subs to the Blasted Attack channel. The Unboxing Bros, Broke Because of Comics, Chief of Comics COC, and that's an older one, Comic Books NYC. Coming closer and closer to our Sashies Award coming up here at the end of the month. So go check out those categories. And we're getting those packages out. I'm waiting for some maybe some signatures coming back for some books coming out. Go head it out to the winners for last month's award for our, oh my God, I can't think, Patreon. Yes, our Patreon is still out there. So make sure you go check out our Patreon. Working on some books for December. So go throw us a buck over there. You know, get entered into the contest and that'll be fun stuff like that. So I think that's it. Whether you blast it or whether you stash it, happy reading. And I'm going to go do something with the Shrek finger now.
Yeah, good night, you egg holes.
Yeah, good night, a-holes.